Afternoon, everybody. A webcast of this meeting will be published to Council's website at www.liverpoolplains.newsouthwales.gov.au for viewing by members of the public. Before I recite the acknowledgement of country and the council prayer, I would like to take this opportunity to pay our respects to Mayor Tony Bleasdale OAM of our sister city, Blacktown City Council, who passed away at the beginning of May. Mayor Bleasdale was not only a good friend of mine, but a strong advocate for the Liverpool Plains and worked hard to form a strong sister city bond between both our councils. Our deepest sympathies are with Nina, Tony's wife, and his family at this time. Can you all please stand for a moment of silence? Thank you. If you would remain standing, I'll go on with the acknowledgement of country and the council prayer. Today we gather on the land of the Kamilaroi Nation. We therefore need to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of this land. We also pay our respects to the Aboriginal elders, both past and present, and further extend that respect to other adults who have joined us today. Council prayer. Lord, we ask that you watch over this council, guide us in our deliberations and decisions for the betterment of all the people of our Shire and Australia. Thank you. Item 2, apologies and applications for leave of absence by councillors. The recommendation that apologies from Councillor Ken Cudmore and Councillor Paul Moles be received and accepted. Do I have a mover? Councillor Allen, the seconder. Councillor Wynne. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 3, confirmation of minutes. Minutes of the council meeting held on the 24th of April 2024. Recommendation 1 that the minutes of the council meeting held on the 24th of April 2024 be received and the recommendations therein be adopted. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cohen, a seconder. Councillor Lawson. Anyone wishing to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Cohen. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, so I'm not for or against it. I'm in favour of the adoption, except I just want to question the fact that there is a leave of absence approved for council, apology from Councillor Wynne, and then we note in the people present that Councillor Wynne was present in our minutes. So I just think there might be a little bit of a error in our minutes.
Obviously,
That's all, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
General Manager.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we can correct that. Thank you. Thanks, Councillor Cohen.
Councillor Cohen, that's been
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, having said that, I'll put the recommendation. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 4, disclosures of interests. If there's any councillor wishing to disclose any conflict of interest, if not, I'll put the motion. Being none, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Mayoral minute for April 2024. The recommendation that council receive and note the mayoral minute for April 2024. I have a mover. Someone move that? Councillor Lawson, second. Councillor Cohen. Anyone, did you wish to speak to that, Councillor Lawson?
I just wondered if maybe you could give us a little bit of a summary of how things went over in Korea.
I think that's coming in June, Councillor Lawson. This one here is to deal with the meeting that the deputy ran.
Yeah, that's fine. No worries, thank you.
Thank you. So I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6, the Executive Services Report for April 2024. The recommendation that Council 1 receive and note the Executive Services Directorate Report for April 2024. Do I have a mover? Councillor Allen, a seconder. Councillor Cullen, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Allen?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.2, Resolution Register Update. Recommendation that Council receive and note the Resolution Register as at the 9th of May 2024, appended to Annexure A, and the Resolution Register for 2022 and 2023 as appended to Annexure B. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cullen, a seconder. Councillor Wynn, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Cullen?
Please. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, just a couple of queries. I note that our resolution in relation to the bus route upgrade is still in the process of being discussed with the interested parties. Is there any sort of further update on that or not? If you would, please.
General Manager?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so we held a local traffic committee meeting in March of this year. However, we did not reach a quorum, so it's still on the agenda for the next traffic committee meeting, which is scheduled to be held in June.
Thank you. And just one other thing, and this is something that has probably been cleared up by the GM a little bit, was in relation to the golf club water approval that we gave some time ago back in August in resolution 2023163, which we passed on the 23rd of the 8th, 23. I just want to make a comment that, we requested certain information from the RSL and it wasn't forthcoming. I think it was received in part in December, and it is an ongoing matter, I realise, but I just feel that this matter is probably the RSL not replying to us in time has drawn this process out unrealistically, really. And I just have a feeling that as we approach them and with our fees and charges being on present exhibition, that we are likely to get some sort of a request from the RSL and Golf Club in relation to the same matters. Now, the GM has, of course, briefed us briefly in relation to some ongoing matters in relation to this. Just want to put it on record that I do believe that, most of the we're prepared to give assistance by a reduction of fees and charges, but we shouldn't be asked to be having to do that on an ongoing basis if the RSL and the Golf Club are not prepared to come forward with a business plan or a solution to their costing problems. Thank you.
General Manager?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you, Councillor Cohen, yes, just a brief comment, I guess also for the record, that the Mayor and I held a meeting with the RSL committee members on the 13th of May to discuss ongoing matters relating to the golf club. We anticipate that there will be a submission made to the operational plan in relation to that. The RSL at that meeting did furnish us with financial statements for both the golf club and the RSL club as an overall entity, and we'll review those as part of any submission that comes forward. Obviously, Council will have the opportunity to discuss that along with any other submissions to the operational plan.
Councillor Carr?
Thank you, Mr. GM.
Thanks, GM. Item 6.3, Corporate and Community Services Director. Sorry, Mr. Wilson, I didn't see you there.
I just wanted to also speak in relation to the resolution regarding the bus route changes. This has been ongoing for quite some time, 18 months. it would be really good if this was going to be discussed, at the traffic committee in June. I just wondered if, the stakeholders were being invited to that meeting and whether I could possibly be included in that as the person who originally put forward that motion, and to maybe provide some more clarity around the reasons behind it and, discuss it with everyone. There's been a change of principal to the public school who is, also in support of that, so, if we could get all the stakeholders together in a room, I think maybe we could either, it's something that needs to be resolved one way or another, whether it's something we pursue or something that can't be pursued, but, I'd like to see that through. Thank you.
General Manager.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think Mr. Skelly can certainly arrange that and encourage stakeholders to be there, but it is something that we are trying to facilitate. We don't have a direct involvement in that, so we'll continue to do that.
Just 5 seconds.
Councillor Allen.
I missed that meeting. I didn't read my memo, so that's the reason it hasn't gone through. Unfortunately, I concur in meetings during that time, and I think it would have went through under the proviso that we were meeting with the traffic committee, but unfortunately it didn't. So it should be an issue, which I think just that we didn't get a call. That was the only reason. Thanks.
All good, Councillor Lawson? Okay, I will now put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.3, Corporate and Community Services Directorate Report for April 2024. The recommendation that Council receive and note the Corporate and Community Services Directorate briefing for April 2024 as detailed in this report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cohen, seconder. Councillor Allen, did you wish to speak with Councillor Cohen?
No, sir.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.4, Quarterly Budget Review Statement for the period ending 31st of March 2024. The recommendation that Council adopts the Quarterly Budget Review Financial Statement, NHRA, for the period ending 31st of March 2024, incorporating the variations disclosed as the revised budget. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cohen, a seconder. Councillor Lawson, did you wish to speak with Councillor Cohen?
No, man.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.5, Statement of Investments for April 2024. The recommendation that Council receive and note the Statement of Investments as of the 30th of April 2024 as appended at Annexure A. Do I have a mover? Councillor Allen, a seconder. Councillor Wynne, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Allen?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.6, Draft Complaint Handling Policy. The recommendation that Council 1, place the Draft Complaint Handling Policy as appended at Annexure A on public exhibition for a period of 28 days and adopt the draft policy as exhibited, subject to no submissions being received. 2, request a further report at the conclusion of the public exhibition period if submissions are received. Do I have a move? Councillor Cullen, a seconder. Councillor Allen, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Cullen?
No, thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.7, Local Advisory Group. The recommendation that council receive and note the minutes of the Currabubula Local Advisory Group as appended at Annexure A. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lawson, a seconder, Councillor Lynn. Did you wish to speak with Councillor Lawson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was just wondering, it does summarise the questions that were asked, the business that was raised in those minutes, and then it'll be sent through to staff members. So I'm assuming all of those points are things that are being assigned to be dealt with or answered. Thank you.
General Manager?
Sorry, I just took the questions, it's been something I started.
Yeah, that's great.
So all good?
Oh, sorry, I was just passing confirmation. So
Yeah.
that's what I meant.
All good, Councillor Lawson? That's all.
Yeah, if that's correct, that's what I was just clarifying, that's what I meant, yeah.
All good, okay. If there's no one else wishing to speak for or against the motion, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.8, Infrastructure and Environmental Services Directorate Report for April 2024. Recommendation that council receive and note the Infrastructure and Environmental Services Directorate Report for the month of April 2024. Do I have a mover? Councillor Lawson, a seconder. Councillor Cohen, did you wish to speak with Councillor Lawson?
Just bring that. I just noted in there that it says under Parks and Reserve that there's maintenance at the Werris Creek Pool. I was just wondering if there was work progressing there yet on trying to identify the leaks in that were a problem last season, and how that was going. Thank you.
General Manager?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, so yes, we do have works taking place for that, so we've got a number of quotes we're seeking at the moment for various services to try and identify the leaks, come up with solutions to solve them. We're also seeking to demolish the roof of the balance tank and replace it because it has corroded and is due for renewal. And we're also going to be locating the return line and trying to look at what options we have to test it. The pressure testing is an option. There's multiple polyclinic plug to do that, but it is one thing we could do. So we're looking at our options on how to test it. But it is something we are actively trying to solve.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Lawson. If there's no one else wishing to speak for or against the
Yes,
motion,
please, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Cohen.
Mr. Mayor, excuse me, in relation to the Milner Parade upgrade over there, progress is evident in relation to the work being done there. Just a query in relation to that matter in the wording on our meeting agenda. The bottom line says the project's funded by a grant from New South Wales Stronger Country Communities. That's correct, but I was also under the impression that there was the council was also funding from the loan funds part of this. I'd like to make an amendment if we could do that report to show that that reflects the council also is contributing. Further, I would just like to ask about the asset management matters at the bottom of the report. Just to confirm that these lease registers and various properties that we have under review for property management, I'd just like to be confirmation from our staff that when this is complete, that we will be given an upgrade on this and made aware of the exact position that these properties are in relation to our financial position as to what funds are received in relation to the leases, the terms of the leases, and what the property values are and what their worth to council are in total, if we could please.
General Manager?
Noted around the Milner Parade, you are correct, council is co-funding that money, so make sure into the future we include that in the report. Regarding property management, yes, potential properties, buildings, lands that are available for sale will be identified within the asset management plan. So part of our asset management plan looks at disposals. So that will cover off that information what we have that could be surplus to requirements that may be available for council to sell.
And also you will update us in relation to the leases, like the value of those leases, etc.
Councillor Wynne?
I'd like to thank the General Manager very much for completing the reviews on the aerodrome and things that have done out there. The people are very, very happy because it's a win-win situation. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Wynne. If there's no further discussion, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.9, request for waiver of reduction of fees for Spring Ridge recreational grounds. The recommendation that council waive the casual hire fee of $536 for the Spring Ridge Charity Thames Cricket Weekend pursuant to section 610E of the Act, and the council waiver of the fees and charges policy to be held on the 28th and 29th of September 2024. Is there any, we've got a mover? Councillor Wynne, seconder. Councillor Lawson, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Wynne?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Lawson? Am I on?
No, Councillor.
Councillor Wynne?
Oh, sorry.
It sounds like a very good because definitely for the motion. I just wonder if in the future this might be best done under our community funding grants. So that might be just something for the committee to look out for in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Lawson, that's noted. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.10, town water supply status. The recommendation that council receive and note the town water supply status report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Allen, a seconder. Councillor Cohen, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Allen?
Nothing against the man.
Anyone else? Sorry? Did you wish to speak to it?
No, I think we discussed it earlier.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.11, Shed DA 2023/54, Hall Street, Willow Tree. Recommendation that council determine development application 2023/54 pursuant to section 416 of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act 1979 by the granting of consent subject to the conditions contained in this report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Wynne, a seconder. Councillor Lawson, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Wynne?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor. No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? Councillor Lawson?
Just wanted to note there that there has also been a DA for a house, and as I understand it, the house has to be built or partially built before the shed is begun to be constructed, so I just wanted to clarify that.
General Manager?
So, Mr Mayor, I do not believe the conditions of consent have set it out. So whilst the DCP is one of the assessment parts of the DCP, part of the reason it's coming here is because we're varying from the DCP, and I do not believe the conditions of consent are structured that way around.
Councillor Lawson? Gordon?
Well, I just wanted to clarify the reasons for doing that under this zoning. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Lawson, that's noted.
I'm just asking for the.
You want more clarity? General Manager?
So what clarity are you seeking, Councillor Lawson? Apologies.
Just why that is being done as opposed to the normal requirement of the DCP.
Unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the assessing officer for the DA, so that's not something I'm actually across otherwise. I could probably try and find out for you very quickly.
Take on those.
I'm just- Sorry, that's just what I took away from the report earlier, so that's,
So is there-
adjoining properties notified under this variation.
So I believe adjoining properties were notified. It's not required under our, not required under our community conservation plan, but I think we do tend to take the view that if there are ones outside of the DCP, we do tend to notify it, which we did notify again in 14 days, and there was no submission received.
Okay.
Thanks, Councillor Lawson. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6.12, Shed DA 2024/056-181 Roundtrees Lane, Corindai. Recommendation that council determine development application 2024/56 pursuant to section 416 of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act 1979 by granting of consent subject to the conditions contained in this report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cohen, a seconder. Councillor Allen, do you wish to speak to it, Councillor Cohen?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 9, confidential matters. Recommendation that council considers the confidential reports, bracketed S, listed below in a meeting closed to the public in accordance with section 10A, bracketed 2 of the Local Government Act 1993, 9.1, Werra Street Industrial Precinct, construction tender and project status. This matter is considered to be confidential under section 10A, bracketed 2, bracketed C of the Local Government Act, and the council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest, as it deals with information that would, if disclosed, confer a commercial advantage on a person with whom the council is conducting or proposes to conduct business. Do I have a mover? Do I have a mover? Councillor Cullen, a seconder. Councillor Allen. All those in favour? Thank you. It was moved.
Can we just vote on that?
Um,
On that?
Report on confidential matters, 9.1, the Werris Creek Industrial Precinct. The matter was deferred to the ordinary meeting of council to be held on the 26th of June, and the vote was 5 for and 0 against. Having no further business, the meeting closed at
3:03.
3:03.